Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Quick question. You have an outside pen and an inside cage, is that what?
I have also an inside cage as well.
Right, well, that's what was in the garage,
Yes.
correct? But there's a pen on the, at the beginning, he was in the pen, correct?
That's correct.
Outside, and then he was inside,
Those
in
are
the
the,
garage, in the cage.
that's right, that's their secondary homes. When we're home at 5:30, the dogs live in a home with us. And at nighttime, when we're in bed, he sleeps right outside my door, my bedroom door.
Well,
There's just two other things. Oh,
it's been reported that there are other dogs in the neighborhood, and I think one of the issues here is there's an acoustic issue, because your dog's in the back, right, in the pen, and if a dog barks there, it bounces off the house and aims it right out into the woods, where dogs on the rest of your street, you know, unless they're, you know, yards facing the back like Mrs. Shaughnessy, right? So those dogs aren't heard by the people so far off, but your dogs are in such a situation that acoustically the noise can be heard.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if you look at Ridgeway though too, I don't know if any people have dogs on Ridgeway. Similarly situated, certainly not identically situated,
But I believe these people, you know, I mean, we all have ears and we have a sense of where the noise is coming from. And so you've put a dog collar on for the past 9 weeks?
yes.
And I know Mrs. Shaughnessy has said that she has put dog collars on. Well, she's claimed she has had, in her testimony, she claimed that she's had them on, although on occasion maybe the dog went out without them. So, I mean, it's been quiet for 30 days or longer. If we keep the dog collars on both parties and the noise is controlled, you know, a dog will bark. It's the constant barking that's the problem. And this solves the problem, then we can all go away happy.
everybody except the dogs, Mr. Chairman.
I understand that.
Mr. Chairman, there is a couple of people that you probably want to hear from us. I just want to make it known that at that hearing that we had, that mediation hearing, I asked my neighbors at that hearing. They thought that they heard barking, that they were more than welcome to come over. And I still leave that open for my neighbors. Any one of them wants to come over, they're more than welcome to call me. I'll give them my cell phone number for them to come over and visit. Visit with the dog and let them be the judge. Also, I invite the selectmen to my home. Anytime you'd like to come over and you meet the dog and see what type of dog he is. That's all I ask.
Two other questions I have. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Bean.
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Cressa, I believe I heard you say you do leave the collar on now 24 hours a day?
It has it on 24 hours a day right now, Mr. Vino, yes.
Okay.
This is when the dog is outside, or?
Outside, inside, I have not taken that collar off for a reason.
And how long have you done that for, sir?
It's been about 9 weeks, Mr. Vino.
Oh, it's been about 9 weeks you've had
Yes,
it
sir.
on. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. O'Leary?
Was there at any time when you had more than one German Shepherd or large dog there?
His was over 3 years ago.
Over 3 years ago?
Yes, and he passed away.
So, since that time, you've had how many dogs?
Just the one and the small Shih Tzu.
Nothing else in between?
No,
No
no
visitors?
neighbors, dogs visiting or anything like that.
No, I'm all set.
Right, and one other.
Mr. O'Leary, you have another question?
Just in relation to your response to the dog officer over the years, when they came and knocking on the door,
To be honest with you, Mr. O'Leary, it upset me quite a bit. I spent a tremendous amount of money on this animal. My family, he's became a family dog. I made numerous. That dog has been away from our family for over 4 months since we picked him up. and he's gone through 4 levels of obedience training. And to make sure that these kind of incidents don't happen.
Did you, ever acknowledge that there was a potential that your dog may have been disturbing the neighbors in the past?
Once again, I did get very frustrated. Both of those gentlemen there, and I'm proud to say, as being a citizen of this town, they have done their job. They have come to my home during their investigation periods, 6, 7 o'clock at night, knowing that I wasn't home, waiting until I got home to voice the concerns of my neighbors. And they had done it on several occasions.
Did you acknowledge, though, that the potential that your dog may have disturbed the neighbors?
Yes, I did.
So even though you had all this training and all the rest, the potential was there, it may have occurred.
And we took it seriously.
And as far as your interaction with the neighbors, I mean, the recollection wasn't quite the same, but was there any, do you recall that there were 2 or 3 people?
I believe it was 2 people that I met. We're a very quiet family. Try not to bother with anyone. Try not to bother anyone. And I really am, very rarely see my neighbors. Very rarely even see Mrs. Shaughnessy, to be
Have
honest
you
with
ever
you.
experienced, where your dog may have, reacted to the barking of other dogs?
Not that I can recall.
Your wife, maybe? I don't know if you said or not, but,
Nobody can see it.
maybe she did and maybe brought the dog in, or, I'm just trying to.
We were very
I don't-
sensitive to the fact, Mr. O'Leary, when we did see the dog officers and what have you, tried to make sure that the dogs were in the house more than they were out, okay, to help the situation. We did, like they said, once again, took the dog officers' visits. I think Kyle would tell you that at some points I would be to the point of being embarrassed of having a police cruiser in front of my home, okay, because that's what he used to tell me. He drives a police cruiser. And, you know, did take it seriously, and we would bring the dogs in, whatever the case may be, for longer periods of time. To the point now that we're at to 7:30 in the morning and 2:30 in the afternoon.
Mr.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Crester, do I understand correctly that Brando was not a barker ever since you've had Brando? Am I correct in that interpretation of what you've been saying so far, or explaining so far?
Exactly. As far as I'm concerned, and that's why I brought him to the trainer after the mediation hearing, was to make sure that my thought processes were correct, that this dog was not a barker, an incessant barker.
Well, all dogs
You know,
bark.
there's
All
dogs bark.
Aside from that, at the level that we're talking about here. So, I'm assuming that you're explaining that you're taking the high road here, and you decided to send the dog through training, but he probably didn't need that type of training because, in your opinion, he wasn't a barker. But you did this anyway, and you put the collar on Brando anyway, even though you don't feel that he really needed to go through all that.
Let me see if I can explain it just a little bit more. When I bought the dog as a puppy, we had set it up with the person that I bought the dog from, that he would go back for training at different periods within its life cycle to make sure that the dog was a well-behaved animal and that these kind of situations would not take place. I did that, it was being proactive prior to even any of this becoming an issue.
You've done this since you've been in Wakefield. You've had him in Wakefield, correct?
That's correct.
So this has been a maintenance process, for lack of a better term.
That's
That
correct.
you've taken. So at this point, your use of the dog barking collar was to accommodate your neighbors.
Absolutely. That was the only reason for it.
When was this, from Olympia, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, this one here from Mr. Kingston isn't dated, the top one is in July, I don't
in October, Mr. O'Leary.
This is October?
I believe that was late October. That's the one that was done. Mr. Delaney. and-
Right. I passed it out to all the members probably in our first meeting in
There was no
November.
data on that.
Right.
And then, the final piece that you put in here is this video security system. What's the purpose of all this? To be included in it?
That's one of my follow-up questions.
Oh, you really jumped the gun.
We've invested in a security system around the house, a closed-circuit television system that'll be dated and going 24 hours a day. It will surround my home. But we specifically told the gentleman to put 2 cameras where the dogs are right now, one in one corner, one in the other, to keep constant watch over the dogs, that there would be a record of.
And the record of that would be so that the complaint came in,
That's correct.
you willing to share that video in time frame with the dog officers? Is that the?
Without issue. I just shared a video with you that I just took in, and now, I'm pretty confident that that dog is a good dog.
I'll just follow up with one question from you. In response to the dog officers coming to the house, you acknowledge that, Brando may have a barking problem. Do you mean that you won't be responsible for excessive or nuisance barking, but just that you may have been barking and stop it by bringing it inside?
Just bringing the bark. It's just to help appease the situation. It really all of us.
Mr. Chair. wait a minute.
Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Cresta, you told us about the schedule. You have Brando on 7:30, 2 to 2:30, and then he's in certainly by 5:30.
That's correct.
How long have you had him on that schedule?
It's been a while, man. An exact date, Mr. Delaney, I couldn't tell you. It's been a while.
Prior to putting him on that schedule, would he be out there for hours at a time?
No, not all the time. If somebody was home, he would be out more. But since our relationship started with the dog officers, when we were not around, dogs were in the house.
Would you say while, months?
It's been over here.
No.
I'm looking, no, I think you've answered the question.
You put these, the collar on the dog, the Yule collar on the dog. I
You're
get
not
the
gonna live this one
impression.
down, Jeffrey, you know that.
It could be named after a disease.
Yeah, that's okay. The Yuletide collar, yeah. But I get the impression that you're not happy about that.
No, sir, I'm not.
Um, Are you willing to continue to utilize the collar? Are you looking for some sort of relief from the collar, or what is it, I mean, obviously, you're not agreeing to anything as far as the dog being a nuisance of any sort, but yet you've taken the steps of putting the collar on the dog.
I think there's different ways to handle this situation than the electronic barking collar. And I don't believe I'm the person who can attest to that. There's experts here that should be able to answer those questions for you
Just
in a much better way than me.
What are the suggestions? Because again, if we decide at some point, and certainly haven't come to a conclusion yet, that some action needs to be taken in order to ensure some more peaceful relationships amongst the neighbors and in the neighborhood in relation to barking dogs, what other solutions would be suggested?
There's different,
I'm open to,
there's
suggestions.
different types of collars, first off. There's sonic collars, there's citronella collars.
There's also surveillance.
And there's also, exactly, it's the surveillance, that's why it's quite an investment to have that done. There is other ways of handling this problem, I believe. I do not want to be back here in front of Selectmen, I can assure you that. And I really do want to see this get resolved. This has been going on